Hey guys, we're going to just go through a bit of a video of some stuff that I do almost every morning when I wake up, just to get my body moving. So a little bit of a video that you guys can follow along. And I'm going to hold the stretches with you and I'll explain sort of what I do. Again, it's not going to be anything too intense. It's what I do when I get up just to get my body moving. Yeah. So what you're going to need is just a mat for this one. I have my drink bottle here as well. I take some breaks in between and just see how you go. You can pause it in between if you want, or you can just follow along with me. So let's start. We're just going to start rolling our head side to side. I usually play some music in the background, so feel free to put some music on so that you're not just listening to my voice. Good. Look left and right. And up and down. Roll that head all the way around. And the other way. Good. Roll the wrists, and I like to start rolling the shoulders. Again, sometimes I change things every day, what I do depending on how I feel, where I'm tight. So this is just a bit of an idea to give you guys something to base it on when you want to start to get up and do something. Yeah. So turn to the side. We're going to do some cat rolls. We're trying to get as much range as possible. So really arch around. Let's go the other way. Good. And head up. And push up. Gentle rocks forward and back. Good, again. And over. Good, I like to stick my butt out side to side, so I'll show you from the front as I just rock side to side. Do a few more. And bring your hands out in front onto your fingertips. Good. One arm out, look underneath the other arm. Keep those arms nice and straight. Deep breaths. And again, more than a big stretch, this is just more loosening up our muscles, getting our body working for the day. Deep breaths, close your eyes if you want. And back to the middle. Good. And we're just going to do forward and back. I try and get a little bit lower each time. Until eventually my hips are going to go on the ground. And I'm going to look back. Good. Roll the neck around from here. If this is too hard, you can just come to your elbows as well. Good. Kicking your legs. Good. Coming down, pushing back, roll over and down. Good. Push back, hunch over and down. One more. Good. Good. I like to reverse this as well, so going down, pushing up. And next one, stay down. Good. Now we're going to turn onto my back. From here, bring one leg in and hold. Good. Turn it out to the side. Try and keep your shoulder on the ground. Good. And again. Bring that leg up. I use this time that I do stretching in the morning to do a little bit of thinking about the day, what I need to do, or reflecting on the day before, just kind of getting my mind set. If you don't have a lot of time, just do 5 minutes. If you can, just choose the favorite things. If you're tight, use the time to do those areas only and move around. Knee, other knee. I changed my knee if you didn't see. Deep breaths. Good, and off to the side. Back and off. Good, bring that leg in. Make sure you drop the knee out. If you need more, you can do a bit of a push. I like to keep moving. I don't like to hold anything too much. I like to keep moving when I do this. Good, legs up, big stretch. Oh, good, and then sitting up. So what we're gonna do now is just bring my legs out in front. I'll turn to the side. We've got a bit of an angle. And reach up nice and tall, flex my feet, and then reach forwards. Good, now I call them swimmers. Good, hands on here, just gonna flex and point. If I'm feeling really ambitious in the mornings, I do some leg lifts. I do 10 altogether. Good, and then shake them out. Leaning forward again. I try and just get that feeling, that stretching feeling in my legs. Good. Now into a straddle. Pull those butt cheeks out from underneath. Rotate the legs in and out. If you know that you don't have great flexibility in straddles, you can sit on a towel, sit on a pillow or some blocks, whatever you want to do. Try and hold them open as much as you can and closed. Make sure you're drinking water in between. Good, and I like to do some rolls. I pretty much just roll in every position possible, loosening up the spine, trying to get as much movement, which is great for stuff like when you're doing choreos and exotic, to get as much movement as possible. Other way. Good, flex. Roll those feet around. Deep breaths. Other way. Good. And again, leg lifts if you're feeling ambitious. I don't always do these. Good. One other thing I do is try and just do a little bit of muscle activation. So turning to the side, leaning down, squeezing my leg to come back up. And like I said before, it doesn't matter how many you do. If you only have time to do like 1 rep of each, that's fine. Just get what you can done. Makes you feel a little bit better if you can do something in the morning. And then reaching over and switching. Side bending and stretching always feels really good in the morning. Good, and then hold. When you're holding this sort of stuff, just think about if you feel one side tighter than the other. Think about lengthening out, controlling your breath. Good. And then I put my hands on my hips. If you need to bring your feet in a little bit closer, feel free. And just lean forward and squeeze to come back out. And hands out to the side. This is the time that I'm really focusing on my pelvis, trying to keep my chest up and my back arched as much as possible. Another one I do that I didn't really do before is just rocking forwards and back. So think about pushing your chest, tucking it under, pushing out, tucking under. Sometimes I even go back to ones I've done before, like these rolls, because I love them so much that I just will go back and do a few more. And reaching forwards. If anyone has any pets or animals, usually this is the time they start to walk in front of your face. Deep breaths. And again, none of this is we're trying to stretch too much. You're not warm. You haven't really warmed up your muscles much. This is just to get moving in the mornings. Don't push it. Don't go down as far as what you think you can. If you do this stuff every single day, then you're more likely to increase your flexibility just from getting your body into these sort of positions. Yeah, you don't have to do a crazy big warm up and flexibility and all this strengthening stuff to increase flexibility. Just doing this sort of stuff all the time will help. Yeah. So the next one is for my hips. So I like to bring my feet in, legs in 90 degrees. Make sure I turn that hip out, and I just do a few more activation stuff. Make sure I go on the mat for your knees. And a few lifts of the back leg. If you're the sort of person that hates meditating or doing nothing, then you can actually be, planning stuff you need to do or replying or even talking to somebody on the phone. None of this is going to be too intense to have to, not be able to talk in between. So next I go into a pigeon. I like to just bring my legs in because it's more comfortable for me. If this is too stretchy for you, just come forwards a little bit. Good. And come down. If you want to do longer holds, feel free to do longer holds as well. Tuck that leg in, bend this leg back. Sit on a pillow, sit on a block if you need to. It's really easy to find stuff around the house to help stretch. Good. If that's too much, just use your hand. Nice. Good, other side. So yeah, make sure you're playing music in the background. I didn't want to play any music, just because then if you wanted to play your own music, it would be too confusing. And the back leg. Good, straighten that leg out and into a pigeon. Not too much longer, maybe like another 5 minutes. So it's going to be like a 20-minute in the morning. And again, you can speed it up. You can do half of it if you only have the half the time. You can do the front half or the back half. None of this you really need extensive warming up. I'm just going into these stretches. If it does feel too hard, then just skip that part. Deep breaths, reaching up, stretching out. Good. Leaning over to the side. Like I said, side bending feels so good in the mornings. Good, and straighten. And once you, like if you have time in the mornings, once you start moving and doing stuff, you'll find that, you know, you want to just do more and more, and then like what turns out to be from 15-20 minute just little stretch in the morning, you'll end up doing an hour workout or something. Oh. And so. Good. The other one I love to do is on the stomach. Head to one side. Whichever way you're looking, that's the same leg that's going to come up and twist. And grab your leg. You don't have to grab your leg at the back. Deep breath. And the other side. This might squish the microphone, so I'll just take it off for a second. This back on. And up. There's one last time. Sometimes if I feel like it, I'll just go as far as I can into the splits as well, but just if you haven't done it before, I just don't push yourself at all. The purpose of this video is just a nice little warm up in the morning, just to get you going. If you want to add in some stuff, you know, to make it harder, add in a plank or add in some core work. Sometimes I do some core work, but I just try and move every single part of my body and get it moving. After that, I usually just do like a really big stretch, and then I stand up and, you know, check it off, and then and then I'm ready for the day. So let me know how you guys go. Do it in the mornings, do it in the afternoons. It doesn't really matter when you do it. It's something to get your body moving. Yeah, awesome. Thanks guys. See ya.